See what words. Today we're going to talk about words versus action. Boker Tov, today's daf is daf nun test and קידושין, as we learn for not only for shlema for those who are sick and injured, but for all of Achenu Beit Yisrael Hanasum Batzor B'Shivya. Says the Gemara about 10 lines down on the page, daf nun test. Rabin Chasida Azul LeKedushay Le Issasa Lebrei. Rabin Chasida went to be Mekadesh a woman for his son. In other words, his son sent him to be Mekadesh Nisha. Kitchel Anafshe. And instead, this Rabin Chasida, even though he was a Chassid, he was Mekadesh for himself. In other words, his son thought he's going to get engaged to this girl, and instead the father took her. Tanya, we learned Masha also our Mishnah said that if a man Reuben sent Shimon to the Mekadesh Nisha for him, and on behalf of Shimon, and then Reuben married herself, it's a good קידושין, but the Brisa said, yeah, but it's not a nice thing. Tana Masha he's a deceitful person, he's a Ramai, he's a deceiver. So this isn't a nice thing. How did he do that? He went to marry off this girl to her son, and he decided to take it for himself. The answer is it's different because they didn't want to give the daughter to the son. They said Rabin Chasidi is a chashuva person, but the family of the girl didn't want to give over the girl to the son. They said, we'll marry you, the father, chashuva guy. So he should have let him know. Okay, he should have sent back this son a message. Look, the girl doesn't want to get engaged to you. She'll get engaged to me. Should have let her know first. He's afraid that by the time he would have gone back home and reported to his son that she's not available for the son, she's only available for the father, she would have already been gone. In other words, it was like when we say we allow on Chalamoid to get engaged. Why? Because maybe somebody else will beat him to the punch and will get betrothed to this girl. So here too, he didn't do a Ramoy thing. Simply, the girl didn't want to get married. The girl's family didn't want him to get married to the son, and therefore she married the father. She agreed to marry the father, and the father didn't let the son know first because if he figured by the time he would have gone back, she would have got engaged to somebody else. What did you wanted to ask?
My father-in-law is rich. Not in Israel, then
okay, so we'll learn for Ilan Hashem for him as well. Rabba Bar Barchana Yavla Zuze L'Rav. Rabba Barchana gave some money to Rav. Omar Zavna Nile Lahai Ara. Do me a favor, Rav, go buy this piece of land for me. Azal Zav Mashe. Rav went and bought it for himself. Now that's not nice. You're not supposed to do that. Somebody sent you on a mission. Go buy this piece of land for me, go buy this house, and you like it, you bought it for yourself. The answer is Baga Dalim Habi. It was a valley or a plain that was tough people. They were very tough people. Because Shabalis Rohaisa, Rashi, and they didn't want to allow people to buy land there. They had a monopoly, like a little mafia there. They want people. So if that's the case, it was a tough people. So L'Rav takes out the word lay. It was a tough area to buy. They wouldn't just allow anybody to buy. L'Rav no by covet. Rav, they gave him covet. Says Rav will sell to you. L'Rav Barchana lo like by covet. They want to give honor to Rav Barchana who wanted to buy the land. So he bought the do it. So Rav should have told him before he bought the land. You sent me to buy this piece of land for you. I bought it for myself. You should have let him know first that they won't sell it to you, but they'll sell it to me. So again, he figured out he's afraid that by the time he would have gone back and reported to Rav Barchana that it's not available to Rav Barchana, it's only available to him, and then he would have come back, somebody else would have bought it.
You could always resell it, it's not the same thing.
Who could have resold? So what do you mean? Yeah.
Who bought it?
Rob bought it. Yeah, Rob bought it. Yeah, so
he bought it. He could always sell it to Rav Barchana.
No, they wouldn't allow that. They wouldn't allow that. No, they wouldn't allow it. No, these are the tough people. He couldn't have done that. If he could have done it, he would have done it. But they wouldn't allow it. It doesn't work like that. You could just buy and sell to your
marrying is one thing. Find something.
No, I understand. But in this situation, obviously, that wasn't available. It's like buying a plot at a cemetery here in Israel. You can't just resell it to anybody you want. It's got to go through the Chevra Kadisha, right? A lot of people have done that. They bought a piece of land. You can't if let's say it's not used. It happens very often. People from America bought a plot here. Then when they died, their family buried them there. The plot's here, so they want to sell it now to somebody else. When they bought it 50 years ago, it cost $1,000. Today, it's cost $100,000, right? So they would like to sell it. They can't. If they want to sell it, they can sell it back to the Chevra Kadisha. They'll give them the same $1,000 without interest that they paid 50 years ago. That's how it works in real life. And I'm telling you, same thing over here. They probably he wouldn't have been allowed to sell somebody else. Another story. Gidl having mahapach bahi ara. But Gidl was looking at a piece of land. He was investigating it. He had his lawyers working on it. He was checking out the land. Azal Rav Abba. Now a different, again, similar story. Rav Abba, a different rabbi, went so he bought it. He bought it, and we'll see. Like again, Azal Rav Gidl, Kabbalah Rav Zera. Rav Gidl, who had been looking at the land and searching it out and checking it and everything, he went and he complained to Rav Zera. He says, "Look, the guy bought it. We call that he bought it out from under me. I was negotiating, and he just went and bought it out from me." Also, Rav Zera then went, who heard this complaint, to Kabbalah Rav Yitzchak Nafcha. He complained to Rav Yitzchak the Smith, who was a bigger rabbi. He said, "Look what they've done. Amalei Hamten Ad Sheyala Etzlei L'Regel. Let's wait till this." Rav Gidl, not Regal, to Rav Abba. Rav Abba was the one who bought it. Let's wait till the Shalosh Regalim, till Yontif comes, and we'll discuss it. Kisolik, when he came up to Eretz Yisrael, Ashke, he found Orlei, Ani Mahapach. If a poor person is, searching out, is checking out like a cake, a piece of food that he's working on. Another person who came and bought it. Now the Ani was taking it, checking it out. He was picking it up, looking at it, whatever. He didn't acquire it. It wasn't like he owned it, but he was looking at it. Another person came and took it. Menu, what's the halacha? Do you know what he said this to Rav Abba, who had bought the land out from under Rav Gidl? Amalei Nikarashi is an evil person. This guy was looking for land, and he picked up Vel Amar, my time Abrachi. So why'd you do it? If that's an evil action for somebody to buy it out or take it out from under, this other guy was looking at it, about to pick it up, and then you come and grabbed it. So why did you buy the land? Amalei lo have you done? I didn't know. I didn't know that he was looking to buy it. I bought this land. The broker came, showed me the land. I didn't know that Rav Gidl was checking it out and was about to buy it. So Hashanami necessarily. So give it. So I'll give it to him. Give it to him. So now, okay, fine, give it to him. Omerlei Zvuno Lamazavnina. I don't want to sell it. Right? Why don't you give it to him now? I said, I can't sell it to him. Dara Kamaisi. It's the first piece of land that I ever bought in my life. And Velo Masamna Milsa. It's not a good simon when you sell your first piece of land, the first thing that you bought, you sell it. That's a bad sign for you. It's he doesn't want to have that like it's pardon. It's flip it. Yeah. No, but I mean, no, he means flip it, but it's a bad sign to sell it. No, so it's like it's like a person's wife. Don't give it away so easily. You know what I mean? Lo Masamna Milsa. Rashi says, "Ain't a simon tov sheimker ora mekravishon." It's not a good symptom. It's a bad sign that you start the first thing that you bought, you're selling already. That's a bad sign. It's like things won't stay with you. But I'll be glad to give it to him as a gift. I won't sell it. It's a bad sign to sell the first thing that you bought. But I'd be glad to give it to him as a gift. I didn't know that he was looking for it. I didn't buy it out from under him. Nobody told me that he was looking at it. I'll be glad to give it. Rav Gidl lo nachas. So Rav Gidl didn't take it. He wouldn't accept it as a gift. Rav Abba lo nachasla. Rav Abba didn't take it either. Mishum dahapach ba Rav Gidl. So Rav Gidl was looking at it, and it looks like I bought it out from under him. I don't want to sell it. I'll be glad to give it to him. He doesn't want to take it. I'm not going to use it either. Neither one of them went and settled the land. Lo mar nachasla v'nachasla. Nobody took it. The Maskari Aradrop on it became a yeshiva. It was called the land of the rabbis, right? Hefkel Tamidim. Everybody sat and learned there. Meaning the land, nobody would take it. Rav Gidl wouldn't take it as a gift. Rav Abba didn't want to sell it to him because it was a bad sign for him. But he also didn't want to occupy the land. So nobody occupied it and became a yeshiva.
Why in the previous case?
Yeah. Again, in the previous case, it was obvious. Right. It was obvious, so they wouldn't have let him. The tough guys wouldn't have let him. If there would have been an option, huh?
Then you shouldn't have bought it at all.
Maybe he didn't know either that somebody else.
No. He knew that. No, in the previous case, he was sent on behalf of somebody else. and then they didn't want to buy it. So he said, so what should he have done? He shouldn't have taken it either, but that wasn't a situation. The other guy couldn't have bought it. In other words, it wasn't an option. If he can't sell, it's like saying the other guy was looking for it, but then he didn't have the money to buy it. So if he didn't have the money to buy it, I shouldn't buy it. If he didn't have enough money,
There's something to say.
No, I don't know about that. No, that's not the same because here he didn't know that the other guy was looking for it. Had he known, he wouldn't have taken it. Here he knew that the other guy was looking for it. No, but it wasn't an option. The tough guys wouldn't have let him buy it. They said, if you're buying it for Rav Chana, we're not going to let him take the land. It would have been a waste. But he would have bought it and given it to him. The other guy, they wouldn't let him into the land. That's a different story there. Same thing. So we said, if a man said to the second case, and the first case mission was what? If a man was told to buy, was acted as an agent for somebody else, and the guy says, marry this girl for me, and then the agent himself went and bought it, went and married her, she's Mekadesh the second guy. He's a Ramai because it wasn't nice what he did, unless the circumstances are such as described on this page, right? Either he didn't know, he wasn't an agent, or it wasn't possible to fulfill the shlichus because they wouldn't have allowed it. The girl didn't want to marry the son, or they wouldn't have sold that field to Rav Bar Chana, whatever it was. Fine. Otherwise, it's Ramos. Then the second case is where he tells a woman, "You're married to me after 30 days," and somebody else says, "I'm giving you a קידושין now. Here's a ring. It'll be chal 30 days from today, right? November 10th or whatever, November 11th. It's going to be chal." Now, somebody else comes in, marries her in between, so she's married to the second guy. Right? Somebody else married her in between. Whether he knew or he didn't know, he wasn't an agent over here. It's not like he was sent to do something and he knew about it. So she decided to marry somebody else. Okay. What happens if nobody else came, right? Within 30 days. He says, I'm married to you after 30 days, right? I'm married to you after 30. Here's your ring. I'm giving you $100. Married to her after 30 days. If somebody else came and married her in between, so she's married to the second guy, because the first guy's קידושין was only going to be chal 30 days from now. So let's say lo ba'ach b'kitchen b'tosh's mouth. Even if the money's gone, he gave her the $100 today. Let's say October 11th, right? And he said, "You're married to me on November 11th." Meanwhile, she spent the money. When it comes November 11th, she's married because he said after 30 days, so the money's not here anymore. She's married either way, even if the money's gone. My time. Hani Zuzi, the money gave her lola milvadam. It's not like a loan flow because it's not like a deposit. If it was a deposit, because the maraka masachli in the pekadon is always in the hands of the man, of the depositor, the person who gave it to her. Like we said before, if a man said to a woman, he says, hold this $100 for me. Later on, he comes over to her and he says, by the way, the $100, why don't you keep it? I'll give it to you now as a marriage betrothal. But the money was stolen or lost in between. There's no money there now. He's not giving her anything. Not a קידושין. So this isn't the pekadon. Pekadon is here. He gave it to her. He gave her the $100 on November 11th, and he said, "You're married to on October 11th." He gave it, and he said, "You're married to me on November 11th." So it's not a pekadon. The pekadon is in the rishus, under the authority of the depositor, not the depositee. Here she used it up legitimately. It's not compared to a loan, right? It's different because when you give somebody a loan, again, the money is meant to be spent. I give you $100, you're going to give me back $100 in 6 months, but not the same $100. It's meant to be spent. But here it was meant to give to her, and she could do with it as she pleased. She could hold on to it, she could put it in the bank, she could spend it, whatever she wants to do. And the Maisa is there at that point. Rashi says that when she consumed that money, it was her own. The Mekadesh קידושין works. Now here comes the question we're going to deal with mostly today. Let's say nobody else married her, right? She said, "Listen," he said to her on October 11th, "Here's $100. You're married to me on November 11th." Okay, November. If he says to you, "I give you $100 right now. I'm giving you $100 right now. Marry me right now." She says, "Yes, dear, I accept." She accepts right now. They're married right then. There's Adam. They're married right then. Let's say she changes her mind 5 minutes later. What happens? She needs a get or kill the guy. One of the two, right? You can't get out of it. But here he said the קידושין is going to be chal when? When is it going to take effect? November 11th, a month from now. Let's say she changed her mind in between. Whatever happened with the money, it's not important. She must spend it, you give it back, she owes it back, and can she change her mind? That's the question we deal with now. Again, the second of the wide lines, let's say nobody else came in, married her in between. But between October 11th and November 11th, she retracted, she changed her mind. Now, she can retract. It was just words. I agreed. I changed my mind. It didn't take effect yet. I can change my mind. She cannot retract. Words cannot change other words. You accepted it, too bad. That's what Rish Lakish says. Now, obviously, you're going to pass it to Rabbi Yochanan. Rish Lakish. Rabbi Yochanan asks the kasha of Rish Lakish. Let's say I sent you to take truma from me. I have a crop. I put my crop together. I gathered it in, and I said, "Do me a favor, I'm leaving town. Can you please take truma from me?" And then I changed my mind before you did it. Bittel, I voided your task, and I said, "No, I don't want you to do it." Imad shelo Torah. If you haven't yet done it, Bittel ain't truma. It's not truma. Even if you didn't find out about it, but if I was in Batla, I said, I renounce your authority to take truma on my behalf. It's not truma. I told you this, and I told you that. I told you one thing, I retracted because you see that words or speech can come and nullify other speech. He says, you're right. That's different. In other words, even though Rish Lakish says that words cannot change words, it's different over here with the Isha. Why? Because he gave her the money. That's an action. It's not simply Harei Mekudeshesly words, and she says, no, Harei Ani Lo Mekudeshes L'cha before November 11th. No, he gave her something. It's an action. Shining the scene. It's mostly You're right. In the case of Truma, you're right that Truma was about that's words are about the words, but this is more than that. Here, she did an action. She accepted the money. That's an action that can't be easily retracted. So here, Rish Lakish is saying that it's different in the case. It's not simply that words can't change. Words cannot nullify words. Here, the words are coming to nullify an action. The Gemara says, what do you mean? I'll show you that words could nullify an action. Let's say a man sends a get to his wife with a shliach. And he happened to meet the shliach or actually sent a shliach. Remember, originally he was mavatal to get in front of Adam, and they didn't know about it. And the rabbi said, "Don't do that anymore." Back to the Gemara, you get in Daf Lamed Beis Lamed Gimel that don't do that because she'll get remarried, not knowing that you were mavatal to get. Okay, you're mavatal to shlichus. So, but let's say he met him himself. The chiddush over here is even if he didn't actually run after him, he just happened to meet him. He said, "Oh, by the way, don't give her the get." Maybe you think he's joking. No, he can change his mind. The get that I gave you is bottle. Erase a bottle. Changes it. Nasinas get the shliach. The nasinas must be adisha. Dummy. When you gave the get, that's like an action. It's like giving the money to the girl, to the woman when you're marrying her. But can you erase a bottle? You could be bottle. So here you say that Rish Lakish answered, well, giving her the money is like an action, so she cannot retract her words cannot retract the action that was taken. Here you see that words can retract an action. As long as the get has not reached her hand, it's only dibur b'dibur. The action would be if the get was given to her, like the money was given to her in the case of קידושין. But over here it's only dibur b'dibur. Asi dibur v'atal dibur. So again, even Rish Lakish says that dibur could be mevatal dibur unless there's a real action involved. And in the case over here, where he gave her the money, or gave her the ring, and he said, "You're mekadosh to me in 30 days from now," that's an action that she cannot retract simply by saying, "I changed my mind." Now we're going to reverse it. Rish Lakish asked Rabbi Yochanan, you say that words can be vatal words. When you make a kli, whether it's a shoe or a vessel of some sort, when does it mufshal kabaltum? When can be kabaltum? When it's a kli. If it's not a kli, it can't be kabaltum. You take a stamp piece of wood, that's not kabaltum. A rock is not kabaltum unless even if it's a kli, a rock, even if it's a kli, it's not vatal. It's not kabaltum. But let's say a normal kli, it could be a shoe, it could be a vessel of some sort. It only becomes tummy. It could become tummy when you thought, okay, I'm done with it. But let's say you're still working on it. You want to shine it. You want to polish it. Whatever. It's not finished. Let's say once it became a kli, and now you want to be mabatal the truma, or be mabatal its ability to be makabel truma, says Rashi, unless you can do something. So for example, let's say I said, okay, this kli is done. I'm done with it. Now it can be makabel truma. At that point, let's say I change my mind now, and I say, no, it's not really quite finished. It's not polished. It's not smooth. I got to do some more work to it. And when I do work to it, I do physical work to it, then that's shini maisa. So once I do that, that shows that it's no longer a kli that's makabel tuma. Maisa, mostly add maisa. If I do a maisa, like I do something, I continue working on it, that shows that my original masa that I completed was not complete. Umiyad machshava, or if I intended it to be complete before and now I continued working on it, that shows that I didn't want it to be complete. Machshava alone, let's say I completed it and I finished it. Now I said, you know what? I'm not finished with it anymore. I'm going to do some more work on it. That's not mavatla. Bishlam miyad masalam after machshava doesn't take away from a ma'aseh, cannot retract that. Dibur cannot change words. Ela miyad machshava miyatepet. But if a kli became mukhshal kabel tuma based on my machshava that I'm finished with it, so now if I change my mind and I say no, I'm not gonna finish it. I'm not finished now. I'm going to continue working on it. It's a machshava. That's like words to words. So why can't the machshava change a machshava? I understand that once I finished it, completed it, and now I want to change it, machshava can't change a masa. But if it's not really complete. But I said to me, this is complete. Now I changed my mind. Why can't the machshava be matal in a machshava? According to your Rabbi Yochanan, the words can nullify words. Why can't a thought be matal a thought? So Rabbi Yochanan will answer, Shani machshava the Tuma, sitting with Tuma, Dechi Masadami. A machshava, the Torah amplified the power of a thought and made it like a masa itself when it comes to Tuma. The Rami says, one pasuk says, Kiyite, we read in Kiyutan, right? If water fell on detached vegetables or a kli or anything else, the pasuk reads kiyitim. We read it as kiyutan. Okay, it said kiyutan dumi lechitan. As if water fell on it, rain fell on it, or water fell on it, even without your action, you didn't put the water on there. Mayitan denechle. When you put something on, obviously you wanted to do it. You're happy with it. Afyutanami denechle. If you're happy with it, it's as if you actually put it on there. So machshava, the Torah gave a special amplification, special power for machshava when it comes to tumah. Then machshava is like a masa. But again, Reish Lakish says that she cannot retract in the case where the wedding didn't take place, the betrothal wasn't going to take place till November 11th. She cannot retract because her words cannot take away the ma'aseh. It's more than simply words against words. Words can take a ma'aseh. And Rabbi Yochanan says, yes, words can take away even a ma'aseh. The Gemara now, pardon?
I don't understand. If he was with Kadisher, operate 30 days, someone else came along and married her.
Yeah, we're not
married. So we see that her meiser is the vacuum, whatever she said before. And now we're saying, now the question is, well, nobody came, but she changed her mind. But there's no difference. What's the difference there? There's a masa and a masa.
There's a masa because there's a masa. If she married somebody in between, so that was she accepted. The other קידושין wasn't chal yet, right? Even though he gave her the masa, but it wasn't really didn't take effect yet. The action of the second guy who married her from right now that has more power because he's marrying her from right now. That's a masa. That's a masa that overpowers a partial masa because she wasn't really married yet. The first קידושין wasn't chal. But over here, we're just simply saying nothing was chal yet. Can she change her mind? So,
that's better?
Yes, Rabbi Yochanan, that's better.
That's better.
So that's what Rabbi Yochanan says. That's what we go like Rabbi Yochanan. You're giving Rabbi Yochanan's opinion that the words could change words because it wasn't chal yet. If it was chal, like I preamble this by saying, if he gives her a marriage right now and he says, "Want to marry me right now?" and there's Adam there, and she says, "Yes," that's it. She can't change her mind afterwards. But here it wasn't chal yet. So if it wasn't chal yet, can she change her mind? Rabbi Yochanan says yes. But Shlaki says no because she already took the money. So there was a masa there. Her words alone can't change a masa. Another masa, if another guy comes along and marries her at that point before November 11th, that could be mavatal. In other words, even Reish Lakish agrees that a masa can overpower another masa. In this case, because the second masa took effect right now, and the first masa is only going to be effective later on. But words alone, her retraction alone cannot detract. Now, Rav Zvid Masla Shmaitaha. This machlokes between Rav Yochanan and Reish Lakish. Can words alone knock off other words or even a partial masa? Rav Zvid learns this on a different case. Not the case where he married her after 30 and Yachal after 30 days and now she changed her mind, but on a different case, a case we're going to have later on. The Chain he says like this: a woman sent a messenger to accept marriage from person number one. Okay, he wants to marry me. You go accept the ring for him wherever he is. She meanwhile met somebody else while the shliach was on the way, had not received the betrothal from the first guy. She met a man number two. The woman herself, the Kala herself, met man number two, and she accepted קידושין from number two. Now she's married to number two, right? Because the first guy's marriage was chayet, her shliach wasn't kabel. So he says it depends. Obviously, im shalach kadmu קידושין. If she got married to number two before her shliach accepted קידושין from number one, obviously your קידושין b'im shal shlucha kadmu. If her shliach was accepted קידושין first and קידושין, so the second one's not a קידושין. In other words, she wasn't mabatal the קידושין of the first one. She just said, "Go marry this guy. Go accept marriage on my behalf." And if the messenger accepted the shlicha, accepted the קידושין before the woman herself married number two, then she's married to number one. Okay. Lo kitches atzma. Let's say she wasn't mekadosh herself. She wasn't mekadosh herself to somebody else. But she changed her mind. She changed her mind. Now, she could change her mind. She told this person she could change her mind, right? And Rashi says, she changed her mind, right?
Only before the shliach.
That's right, before they finish the job. Right. I commissioned you, I decommissioned you. Once you center on the mission, you can't change your mind. Moore's going to ask about that from a different case soon. And we're going to show that Rav Shlokish is wrong. Let's look at the case of Truma first that we mentioned, because all these cases that we mentioned, now we're going to mention now, but now we're talking about from the woman's point of view. She sent a shliach to accept קידושין for her, and then she changed, and then she if she accepted קידושין from somebody else in between, so before the shliach accepted קידושין from number one, she's married number two. But if she didn't, can she change her mind? So Shlokish says you can't. What do you mean? Says Rabbi Yochanan Shlokish. What about the case of Truma? I sent you to take Truma from me, and I changed my mind. If I nullify your commission before you took the Truma, ain't Truma or Truma. So you see, you could nullify words. Can nullify words. Shlokish gives a Delphic answer and says over here, it's speaking about not where the Balabayas simply nullified the shlichus, decommissioned him, but rather it's speaking where the Balabayas himself took the Truma. He went out to the field, took from his pile, and he took Truma. That's a Maisa. Maisa can nullify words, but words can't nullify words according to Rish Lakish. Rish Lakish, Rabbi Yochanan. So now Rish Lakish asks Rabbi Yochanan, but in the case of the Kalim that we talked about at the bottom of Amar Aleph and the top of the base, as soon as I think I'm going to stop working on it, it's complete. It becomes moshel kapotuma. It could be kapotuma. It's a kli. They know it's a muslim, but once I kli, it cannot leave its ability to accept tuma. If I do something, Maisa again, Maisa miyad machshava. A Maisa can overpower, can nullify another Maisa or a machshava. You see, Maisa could nullify another Maisa. Machshava ain't motzi ala miyad Maisa, miyad machshava. But words machshava alone cannot nullify another Ma'aser Machshava. So you see, once my Machshava alone that made this into a Kli, and now I change my mind, I can't just change my mind. I understand that Machshava can't take away Ma'aser unless you give about the Ma'aser. People can't take away a Ma'aser, can't take an action. Words, a speech alone cannot take away action. But let words, according to your Yochanan, that words can nullify words, so let a thought also nullify a thought. It's different, like we explained before, that machshava tumah is different because the Torah empowered machshava of when it comes to tumah as if it's a ma'aseh rapapa, where the first of the wide lines down on the base. Ram exhibit says kiyitain, we read it as kiyutan, right? The haketza. Which one is it? Kiyitin is you put the water on. Kiyitin means if water fell on it. Okay, so Kiyitin domitin, mayitin denechel. Just when you put something on, obviously you want to do that. In other words, if you're happy with what happened, even though it's not an action, you didn't do anything. Even just thinking about it makes it into like an action. Rabbi Yochanan again turns the table on Rish Lakish. Again, one of the cases we had a manal, but here this is going. We reverse the order of the questions because this is like the final proof that's going to knock off Rish Lakish. A man sends a get to his wife by a shliach, and he met the shliach, or he sent another shliach after him. The get that I gave you, batul. I'm decommissioning you. Hareza batul. It's batul. So what do you see over here? The words can nullify words. Tifta Rish Lakish tifta. This is a real kasha on Rish Lakish. Interesting. On Amar Aleph, the cases aren't really equivalent because on Amar Aleph, where the husband, where she retracted the קידושין, there wasn't chal yet. You could say it wasn't chal yet, and she could retract it. She cannot retract it. Once she accepted it, there was a ma'isa there. She has to wait, marry the guy that Rish Lakish. Although we hold like Rav Yochanan, Rish Lakish is understandable. You accepted it, you took the money, you accepted the ring. I don't care what you did with the ring. You accepted קידושין. It's going to be chal automatically on November 11th, and you can't change your mind. According to Rish Lakish, according to Rav Yochanan, you could. But over here, it's really a kasha because over here, what do you mean? She says, I commissioned this guy, I commissioned this woman, or the shliach could be a woman or a man. The woman said, go accept קידושין for me. She told the shliach, go accept קידושין for me. She can't change her mind before the shliach accepted the קידושין. She wants to change her mind. What's the problem with that? I changed my mind. Nothing happened yet. In the case of קידושין and Amar Aleph, right, where he gave her marriage, and he gave her the ring, he gave her $100, and he said she accepted it. He said, "You're married to me on November 11th." Okay, if nothing else interfered, nobody else married in between. So you could say over there, okay, Rabbi Yochanan says she could change her mind. Rish Lakish says, you can't change your mind. You accepted the money already. It's too late. You want to get now? Ask him for a get or kill the guy. But but nothing you could do about it. That's Rish Lakish's opinion there. We don't hold like Rish Lakish, but you can understand it. But over here in this case, where she sent a shliach to accept the קידושין, and she decommissioned the shliach before she accepted the קידושין. So what's the problem over here? There was no action done yet. There was no get or no קידושין given. So there, Rabbi Yochanan Rish Lakish is clearly wrong. So tifta Rish Lakish tifta. Because like Rabbi Yochanan, vafilu b'kamaisa. Even in the first case, not only in this case where it's obvious that Rish Lakish is wrong, because she can decommission the shliach before the shliach did anything. He didn't actually. She did not accept the קידושין. But even in the first case, in our Mishnah, even though it's not as clear cut over there, the proof against Rish Lakish is not solid like it is in this case, where the woman is sending the shliach. Still, we hold like Rabbi Yochanan in both cases. The Afagav, maybe even though you could say over there, shining Messina mostly Adisha, it's different over there because there he gave her money and she accepted it. The Kamaisa, still we pass like Rabbi Yochanan. So Morris is now Kasha. So wait a minute though. If you pass Rabbi Yochanan, go back on it. That we have a problem though. We have a steer in the halacha. Amr, you said Rabbi Yochanan, and that's like Rabbi Yochanan. What that she can change her mind before November 11th. But Kaimalon, in which case the boiler. Here was the question: a man sent a get to his wife, and then he met the shliach, and he said, "No, don't give it to her. I'm decommissioning you. I nullify your shlichus." Okay. Can he though? Give me back the get. Give it back. Can he use that get again? And he give her? Can he change his mind afterwards? Can he use that same get? Maushi garish, Maushi echser megarish. But Rav Nachman Amar choser megarish. Rav says he could be megarish again. Sheish Amar ain't a choser megarish. Bo, you can't use it again. He says once you change your mind, Rav Nachman says choser megarish. You can use it again. We pass it to Rav Nachman. You can use it again. What do you mean? You're mavatal. Your words are mavatal to get. The answer is neither batli mitorah shliach mitorah get mavatal. He nullified the commission of the shlichus. You can't be a shliach. He didn't nullify the get. He didn't say this get is no good. Is null and void. What he said was, I don't want you to give her the get. Don't give her the get. I told you to give her the get. Don't give her the get. So therefore, it's not a stira. Yes, we pass like Rabbi Yochanan. You could change your mind. If you haven't done anything yet, you could change your mind. You can nullify the shlichus she can nullify the shlichus if the marriage hasn't taken place until November 11th, even though he gave her the money on October 11th, and he said you married me on 11th. You can change your mind there too. But so how can we possibly like Rav Nachman that says you can be megarish her again afterwards? You already nullified it. You didn't nullify the get. You nullified the shlichus. That's the difference over here. Amarav. Now Mukadesh L'Sheni. Now we said over here. So if she accepted Kiddushin from somebody else, again, what happened? Man gives her a shlichus, gives her $100 on October 11th. Listen, you're married to me on November 11th, right? And somebody comes along, let's say October 31st, and marries her, a different person. She's married to the second guy. Okay. Amarav, Mukadesh is L'Sheni L'Olam. She's always married to the second guy, right? Right? What happened over here? I give her $100, and you're married to me November 11th. What happens to the $100? So there's a machlokus. Is it a gift, or does she have to give it back? We had that shaila before. But if somebody else married her on October 31st, she's married to the second guy forever. That's what Rav says, obviously. And Shmuel says, Mukudeshes l'sheni ad lamid yom. Listen to this. She's married to the second guy from October 31st until November 11th. After 30 days, on November 11th, the second guy's marriage is dissolved because she's married to the first guy. He said, the first guy told her on November 11th, you're married to me. And the Kiddushin of the first one is completed. Yasser, Rav Chisda, like Akasha, Chisda was sitting and says, how could that be? How could Shmuel say she's married to the second guy from October 31st, but on November 11th, that marriage is dissolved because she already had a deal to marry the first guy on November 11th. Kedusha shaded by my pocket. How does the second marriage get dissolved? How does that doesn't work? There's no mechanism for that. Amalei Rabbi Yosef says, no, you misunderstand the whole thing over here. Mara Reishmas, you're learning this on the first case in the Mishnah, meaning the second line in the Mishnah that talks about where he's marrying her and he says it's effective November 11th, and then a second guy came along on October 31st. No, that's why you have a kashalei. That's why he's saying, how can Shmuel say the marriage is dissolved? No. Rav Yehuda Seifa Masnala. Rav Yehuda learns this on the Seifa. What's the Seifa? The Seifa in the Mishnah is where he said, marry me from today after 30 days. And another guy came and married her in between, right? What did the Mishnah say? We're not sure. We're not sure who she's married to. Why? Why is she not sure who she's married to? Because, as we'll see, when he said, did he say, you married me from today on the condition that we're both still alive and we don't change our minds between now and November 11th, and you're married to me retroactively from today? Or did he mean to say, first he said, marry me from now, then I changed my mind. Change my mind now. Did he change his mind, or is that is it a condition? Marry me from today. If we're still alive on 30 days from now, I want it to be chal retroactively. If we haven't changed our minds and we're both alive 30 days from now, I want it to be chal from today. That's a condition. Or did he change his mind? See the Gemara. Look inside. So he said, Mekudeshes, Mekudeshes. That's what the Mishnah said. It's a suffix. She would need a get from both. It's always a suffix. We don't know. We don't know, was it a condition or did he change his mind? Until 30 days, it's a suffix. We don't know. But after 30 days, after 30 days, in other words, it's a suffix for the first 30 days. We're not sure. So she really can't live with either one, right? The sheni is gone, right? Because the second guy's was on October 31st, but on November 11th, the first guy's is chal retroactively. Why? Because Shmuel held the Rav, again, the Gemara explains, the Rav Masafkele, who's not sure, when he said me'achshav, and then he said lachar yom, is it a condition? Be married to me today from today. If we're both alive and we both agree 30 days from now, it should be chal retroactively. So therefore, is it a condition? Or did he change his mind? Or is he saying, no, marry me from today? No, let's make it after 30 days. They're not sure. And then somebody else married her in between. So she can never marry either one because we don't know. Right. So Rav is Musafik, so he says it's a suffix forever. The only solution is for them both to give her a get. L'Shmuel, L'shmuel pshita leida tanave. Shmuel says no, it's for sure a condition. He said, marry me from today. After 30 days, it'll be chal. So when somebody else married her in between, what's the deal? So it's a suffix. Well, for that period in between from October 31st to November 11th, the second guy might be considered married to her, but that doesn't work because you can't really live with her because come November 11th, if they're both still around, it's chal retroactively. She's married to the first guy. But it's the same as the following machlokes on the Tanya. A man says to his wife, I don't want you to fall yibam. I'm giving you a get today. Me'ayom ulachamisa. I want it to be chal from today. When I die, it should be chal retroactively. Get, vein or get. Chacham say we're not sure. We're not sure. Why? We're not sure. Did he change his mind? Did he mean from today or did he mean after death? You can't give a get after death because death is final. You can't buy property, can't marry somebody. Nothing happens after death. You can't do anything when dead is dead in halacha. So there's olam haba, right? But in this world, right, death is final. Ain't get lachamisa. So Chum say we're not sure. When you said me'am lachamisa, is it a get or is it not a get? Then he dies, right? Is it a get? So you have to give chalitza, right? We don't know. Rabbi Omer kazeh get. It is a get. It is a get. Why? Why? Because he says a guy knows that after death it won't work. He meant when I die, it should be chal from today. In other words, Rebbe is saying it's a condition. Rebbe's going like Shmuel, and Rav is going like the Chachamim. The name of Rav Alach. So why don't you say Rav holds like the Rabbanan and the name of Shmuel Alach Rebbe? Why don't you say it like that? Why do you have to say it as a different machlok? It's the streak of Elam Rav Alach. If you say Alach is like Rabbanan when it comes to get, I think Mina Hasim goes there where he's pushing her away, he's divorcing her. There he's not sure. Maybe like the keeper or not. We're not sure what the Chachamim meant. When he said Me'am Lachamis, we're not sure did he mean from today, or maybe he doesn't really mean from today because he doesn't want to push her away so easily. So maybe he really means he's changed his mind. Says no, only after I die. And he made a mistake. He thought he could divorce you after death. Because here where he's bringing her near, he's marrying her. Maybe he's mother Shmuel that a person would definitely want to marry her. Anyway, when he said Me'ayom Ulachar Shloshim Yom, he really meant and November 11th it should be chal back retroactively from October 11th. The Tanavi, maybe be motor to Shmuel. And if Shmuel would say the law is like Rebbe when it comes to the gittin, and he says that's a get because a hasamud ain't get lachmi. He knows the hasamud ain't get lachamisa. He knows that there's no get. So obviously, man, it to be chal from now. There he goes like Rebbe. There's no get after misa. So the guy knows ain't get lachmi. He wants to be chal from now. But over here, there is קידושין after 30 days. If nothing else interferes, nobody changes their mind, and he gives her $100 on October 11th, and he says, you'll be married to me on November 11th, that does work. Maybe he's motive to Rav, that it could work both ways. So maybe he meant to say, when he said Me'ayom, after 30 days, maybe he meant from today, under condition that they're both around, or maybe he meant, no, Shalom Bichal November 11th. Therefore, we have to tell him Machlokas, Rav and Shmuel, in both cases, that Rav goes like the Chachamim, and Shmuel goes like Rebbe. Omar Abaya will tell me the Rav. Listen carefully. According to Rav, who says what? That it's a suffix, right? Rav says that it's a suffix forever, right? We don't know who he's married to, right? What happened again? Marry me from today, me'achshav, and shpichal on November 11th. On November 11th. Now we don't know. Did he mean to make a condition? On November 11th, it's chal retroactively. That's what Shmuel says for sure. And therefore, when November 11th comes and they're both still around, she's married to the first guy. The second guy gave her קידושין, but really shouldn't have lived with her because retroactively she's going to be married to the first guy. But Rav is not sure. Maybe she changed her mind. Maybe first said me'achshav, then he says, no, it's me'achshav. Now I changed my mind. I want it to be chal after this. We're not sure. So tell me to Rav that he's not sure. Let's say, listen to this carefully. First guy says, like we said, October 11th, he says, married to me from today on November 11th. I'm not sure, did he mean on November 11th or did he mean from today? And now a second guy comes and says, afterwards, the same day, on October 11th, later on in the day, he says, marry me from today, and it should be chal when? On November 1st, 20 days from today. And then the third guy comes, and another guy says, marry me from today. The third guy comes, marry me, and it should be chal October 21st. Doesn't have to really be chal. It could even be chal from right now. So, we're not sure, right? According to Rav, that it's a suffix from the first guy and the last guy you need to get. ma'am, sorry, and it's get from the middle guy didn't get why. Manavshach. If it's a condition, have a dekama kedushin. If it was a condition, as Rav's not sure, is it a condition or is it he changes his mind? If it's a condition, so who she's married to the first guy, because the first guy was the one who gave her kedushin first. If he changed his mind, you say no. Later on, the Basar kedusha, the last guy she's married to, because the last guy said either October 21st or today or whatever, but how earlier than the first two. Isn't that obvious? No, but the middle guy wouldn't need to get it all, because if it's a condition, so the condition the first guy gave her, the first guy's condition was chal first, right? It should be chal to me from today, or let's say from earlier on today. The first guy who gave her condition be chal. And if it's changing her mind, she's definitely married to the last guy, but she's for sure not married to the middle guy. She doesn't that obvious. No, Ma'am is saying that lashon me'achshav v'lachar shloshim yom can mean both, and everybody you can mix and match. Maybe the second guy had one meaning, the first guy had a different meaning, the third guy didn't mean. But the boy get them to call chavchat, you need to get from everybody. Kamashma, we don't say that, but rather we say we're not sure what it means. It's not that me'achshav v'lachar yom shloshim yom can mean different things to different people. So maybe in that case, maybe you could say the second guy also needs to get why, because maybe me'achshav v'lachar shloshim yom to the first guy and the third guy meant after 30 days, and to the middle guy it meant no, retroactively it's a condition. We don't say that, but rather we're not sure what it means. In other words, it means either this or that. It either means a condition, like Shmuel said it's a condition, or it means I changed my mind, but we're not sure which one it is. So it's either one or the other. So if three guys did the קידושין in this fashion, where the first guy said, marry me from now, Michal after 30 days, and then another guy came, let's say the next day and said, marry me Michal in 20 days. After 20 days, another guy said, marry me after 10 days, or even right now, she's either married to the first guy or the third guy, but not to the second guy, because it's either if it's a condition, so she's married to the first guy, married to this guy, he was the first guy who gave her first condition, marry me from today after 30 days. He was the first guy there, so his קידושין would be chal first after 30 days, because the second guy came the next day and the third guy came the following day or later on in the day. Either way you look at it. And if it's a chazar, I changed my mind. So if you change your mind and you say after 30 days, the other guy said after 20 days, the other guy said after 10 days, the 10 guy is married to her. So it's either the first guy or the third guy is married to her, not the middle guy, because we're not sure what it means. Tomorrow we'll see. Ula Rabelcha will say a different shot, a different opinion into what this is. He says they're all married to her to some degree. We'll get into that tomorrow. Have a good day, everybody. Everybody should stay safe, and all the kids should come. Everybody should come home safely.